In this video, I pick a structure column again, but this time I want to add a slanted column in the plan view. Actually here, by just click on a slanted column, you can add a slanted column or curved column in a plan view, elevation, section view, or 2D view. But here you got a different option bar. You got first click and second click, as you can see. I specify level 1 for first click and level 2, the second click, level 2. And here I modify minus 2500 to 0 and to 0 exactly from level 1 to level 2. And actual 2D snapping, you can check or uncheck to enable the 2D snapping, and it is used mostly in 3D view. For example, here in level 1 I make a copy out of this grid in this way, and then from here on BIM tools I click on the number grid to put them in order in this way. Again, back to structure, I select slanted column, and after that right here on the intersection I click here, and then I move the mouse toward the intersection, and then I click for the second time. Then we will have a slanted column in this way. I open north elevation, check this out. This is our slanted column. I enable a thin line to ignore the thicknesses, and observe them better. Actually, there are some principles that you should take them into consideration, which are for slanted columns. Actually, there are some regular specified principles. First of all, when you place a slanted column, as you can see, the bottom part of the column is not straight, as you can see. There is a gap between the column and the base, and likely we got the same extra gap at the top of the column since it is not adjusted yet. So as you can see, the bottom and top parts are not adjusted. There is a gap between the top part and bottom part to the floor, actually, since these items in construction is added for slanted columns. So for example, if I add a vertical column and then place it here to compare it with slanted column, for example I place it here in this way, then you don't have the part of construction for the vertical column. But if I select this slanted one, as you can see, we got more parameters since it is more complicated. And the next one is that when you are in 3D view and then you want to use your slanted columns in 2D view, you should at first specify the level of your selected column from here in this way, as you can see. For example, from level 1, actually you have to do this until level 2, and then I select slanted column. So as I said, I should at first specify the levels from level 1 to level 2, and you can specify an offset if you want, and then you can sketch your slanted column. And after that you can use your sketch your columns and then use it. For example, in this way I extend the column. For example, I specify the angle in this way. Check this out. You can rotate it as well. And here actually, if you hold shift, you can shifting between the 90 degrees, every 90 degrees in this way, as you can see. Right now the slanted column is sketched. Here is the result. So don't forget to specify the levels at first. And another way you can do, for example, here you got, suppose that here you got some columns in this way. Actually I made a copy. I open 3D. Look. Here I can check the 3D snapping to enable it, and the levels are already specified, and then I can select from the bottom part to the top part, and then I can connect them. Check this out. In this way, shaded graphics display. Look, we can join them with each other or unjoin them in this way. And another very important point here is that slanted columns are not supported by copy monitor, just like the arc grids, as you remember. So copy monitor is not available for slanted columns. And then the another point here is that you cannot use graphical column schedule after the placement of your slanted columns to create a graphical column schedule for the project. So right now if I select this, only the vertical columns are considered. since the slanted columns are not recognized, as you can see. So consider these two limitations.